action shots.
Yeah, he doesn't do one.
Alright, so
Oh yeah, I love that show. That's just so
we actually won't be at the board too long this morning because we're going to go to the rings. So last week we talked about force times distance and how to figure out how much power or intensity roughly someone's putting out roughly, because I'm sure there's all kinds of physics things that you need to know to actually calculate the power. But we gave a basic understanding of like, okay, I'm doing grace and the distance the bar is traveling is 5 feet because I'm 5 feet tall. I'm using 95 pounds for 30 reps. That is 95 times 30, and then you divide that by time, and then there's your power. Right? So that's how you can tell if the person who likes to lift weights is lifting your head, or the person that can do heavier weights finishes too soon as well. Very good person. So then we started talking about the muscle up. We were talking about the 10 general physical skills and why we do the muscle up, and a little refresher on that. So we talked about, you remember 10 general physical skills?
Yeah, I mean, like speed, agility, balance.
It wasn't power, it was
Strength.
down.
Speed, or speed.
Yes,
That was
yes.
I wrote it down last week.
I did used to have it memorized, yeah, when I did that level one.
Cardiovascular,
Balance.
respiratory endurance, stamina, strength, power, speed, agility, balance, accuracy, coordination. Oh, there was one I missed in there.
Not accuracy, it was it. What was it? I read this last week.
That's so funny because the reason I usually know how to say all 10 of them in order is because I have an order of saying it. So I
Right.
start with cardiovascular, respiratory endurance, stamina, because they're very kind of
Yeah.
close to there.
I think I memorized it alphabetically.
Strength, power is one of the strength and power ones. So there's 3 of them. Strength, power. Okay, hang on, let's look it up.
Do we do flexibility? Do you say
Flexibility, thank you.
Really?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes.
See, normally I say it in the same order, and that's how I can like recite that.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since I had level 1. So I highly recommend doing that. Is like write it out in the same order.
Yeah.
And it's like the way I think of it when I say it is like heart and lungs are breathing, cardiovascular respiratory endurance, into stamina. Stamina is muscle contraction, but it's a lot of them for a long time. Then flexibility. If you have flexibility, then it's easier to have strength because you have more range of motion. You need strength, have power, so that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I'm very into like
Nice.
But the first few are physiological adaptations. So they're adaptations that happen in the body, which means that you get them through training. And my coach, what I use, he calls it your body's hardware, right? And so it's the hardware of the body, right? It's like upgrading your home computer and putting in special parts, right, that work better. Now the software, the program you run on there, that's going to be like the brain skills, right? And when it comes to the muscle up, you could go, are we talking strength muscle up, or are we talking kipping muscle up, right? And in both, there is a strength component, which would be a hardware component, and then there's also a brain component, and there's the learning of the skill. And where most people have a hard time with the muscle up, well, I wouldn't say most people, because I'd say most people still lack the basic strength components. They lack the basic hardware to do a muscle up. And so that's why for a lot of our members, it feels very far away, because they're like, well, I can't even do a pull-up yet, right? Or sometimes if they don't know, they're like, I want to do muscle up. It's like, oh, how are your pull-ups? I can't do it. You can do a band of kipping, right? So in that case, they would need to work on the hardware. They would need to train consistently. And can you guys think about what kind of strength is involved in a muscle up?
Well, you obviously got the pull up, you have to be able to do. Also have to.
The pull up, which is an upper body pull, right?
Yeah.
And then what else?
The press, right? Upper body press.
Upper body, yeah, like a dip. So coordination too, but we're talking strength right
Yeah.
now, so let's stay on strength. What other kind of strength is required? There's a great degree of this required in muscle up. I know from personal experience because I've had good upper body pushing and pulling, but I lack this area and this
Core.
area. Uh-huh.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, how's it tell? But yeah, like it takes a great degree of core strength. And so like the hollow and the arch that we practice a lot, that's really important because when you pull, you're going to pull in a hollow and then you're going to drive the elbows back. And if your body is together, you're going to do that transition a little easier. But if you're kind of loose and floppy, it's not going to happen as smooth, right?
Yeah.
And so like those are all the strength prerequisites. Next, we do have the coordination, right? And the coordination is pulling to the chest and then driving the elbows back and then pushing up, right? But being able to do all those either quickly in a strict ring muscle up because it's still kind of quick. It looks slow, but it's still kind of quick, right? It's like a deadlift. Deadlift looks slow, but you're moving kind of fast to get it off the ground, right? Overcoming gravity. You know, when it comes to the kipping ring muscle up, that's even faster because you're just using your hips to shoot yourself up, and you've got to do that all really quick, right? So that's the requirement. That's the hardware and the software is required to do this. So why should, well, yeah, that's easy, right? So why do we do a ring muscle up for CrossFit competition?
Because it is a high level skill.
It is a high level skill, and does it show up in competitions?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is, right? So that's how we do it. Well, that's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why should everyday person do a muscle up?
Why should the everyday person?
Yeah. Or should they do a muscle up to begin with? That's another question.
Well, for life preservation,
Do they need it?
to be able to, I would say a variation of it, yeah, to be able to get up if there's no one around. I've fallen in the bathroom and I need to pull myself up. Yeah, or I'm in a pool and I need to,
Are you gonna muscle up to the towel rack? Or will the towel rack fall off the wall?
depends on how well your construction is of it in the house, but I assume that would fall. But if you're in a pool, that wouldn't fall.
Uh-huh.
You're pulling yourself up from drowning.
You're gonna pull yourself up like this, or how?
Perfectly like this.
Yes, you're gonna have a false grip as you pull and
No, you probably grab it like this. You probably try to grab the wall like this to get
What
up.
other, what
Because
other,
you can't go like
what
that.
movement resembles the pool better and is kind of a muscle up?
the ring row.
You have rings at the pool?
Oh,
This is a trick question kind of because you may not think.
something
of
at the
this.
pool, like the ladder, getting out.
Actually, that's true.
Because if you have that, if you have the
Yeah.
pool with the handles that are like that.
But yeah, that kind of does actually. But I was thinking more, what's a gym movement that we have done? It's a rare one we do, but we do it still. I'd say it's rare because I don't program it as often.
And it's not on the rig at all.
It involves
Oh,
a
okay.
box.
You know, as a box.
Box jump.
It very much looks like getting out of the pool.
Oh, the hop over thing that we do.
Yeah,
Like
box
when-
get over.
yeah, the
right?
box get over.
So, yeah, it's kind of a muscle up,
Yeah.
right? Except for not the pulling up
Yeah.
part. But it is that part, it mimics that closely. So,
So I was thinking for climbing, like I don't know if it's the full muscle up is I think it is valuable for everybody. I think a pull up is more valuable
More-
for all
yeah,
people.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I we used muscle up ish techniques for
Climbing.
backpack on my back and I'm climbing up a wall,
yeah,
getting
cool.
over obstacles.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, so for most people, would you agree that most people probably don't need a muscle up in real life, like the full muscle up?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
But parts of the muscle up, you might
Mhm.
be using
once
it.
that's full.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, so then, what would be a reason still that a person, if they were interested, if they were like, well, I do CrossFit, so I'm down to work towards it because that's what we do in CrossFit,
Yeah.
right? Why do we encourage, or why does CrossFit encourage people to do it, which I also share that belief, but why do we
Yeah.
encourage people to pursue a higher skill, period? You guys know?
Should always just be pushing yourself. Should always have a goal.
Why? Maybe. Because I think that's also a mentality that's like why, right? Like that's the thing, is like that's the question, why you should always be pushing yourself.
Why try anything in life? You know, why just stay stationary? You know,
That's a good
why not try to grow your business? You know,
Yeah.
why not try to be a better father or mother? You know, like
Yeah.
why push yourself? I mean, it's good to keep striving
Well,
for
and
something.
the reason I ask is because, yeah, it is, but is it striving for striving's sake, or is it striving with intention? Because if it's striving to be a better father because you're a father, striving to be a better business owner because you're a business owner, that makes sense. But if you're pushing, you have no idea where you're going, that doesn't make sense, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, because that's the thing, right? We say that you should push, but why should they push? Because that's what I want us to be good at, is telling people why they should push, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone out there, if you go into any gym right now, they're going to say you should push. In fact, they're going to be really good at that. They're going to say, yeah, come on, just work a little harder. Come on, you got it. Let's go. Come on. Just, you can do it in it. Just do it, right? Like, that's the feedback we get, is people come in here and they're like, yeah, I went to this gym and the trainer told me just push, just do it, and I couldn't do it. And so, like, that's a big thing, right? And I don't disagree that people should push and do hard things. In fact, I think quite the opposite. I think many of us don't push and do hard things. But you should be pushing and doing the right things that get you closer towards your goal. And so, yeah, like, just push to do better. I could get behind that. But specifically in this application, muscle up or another higher level skill, why should someone push towards it? What does it do for them specifically?
I feel like it replicates life. Like, you have to be bad at stuff before you get better at stuff. And like,
Ooh,
not getting, I don't know, life is always gonna bring you down, humble you.
yeah.
So if you have that confidence in yourself for like, even though, yeah, sometimes it does seem silly, but yeah, like I worked on double unders for so long,
And then you got them.
and then you get them.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, you did that, and you're like, yeah, but I worked like at my house a lot,
Yeah.
all the time on that, like,
So for the pursuit of learning a new skill.
yeah,
And what, yeah, go ahead.
gives you confidence.
Also, like, if you're like the strongest, or if you're the overall best person at the gym, then the old mantra is you should find another gym. You never want to be the strongest. I mean, if you're perfect at everything, you know what? How do you grow? You know, if you're, you should always have something to
work on.
Yeah, you need that push in life, because if you just have it all, then you're just, I have it all, and now I'm just, you know, what does my life mean?
Yeah. Does anyone ever have it all in CrossFit?
No, that's why.
I think so.
That's why, you know,
It's kind of impossible.
great sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and even in the, I don't know, like, the big thing for me, I care about coaching everyday people. I'm fine with competitors, but there's less of them out there, I think, and the people that come to us, 90% of the people that come to us come here for everyday life. They want to be fitter, they want to be better at everyday life. And I care about telling them why they should do something. I don't want to just have them do something just because it's on the board, right? And what I remember getting out of level 1 when it comes to learning the skills is coordination, balance, agility, accuracy. Those are all brain skills. Those are all neurological skills. And as we get older, we learn less of those, and we don't try new things, right? And so learning the new skill itself, pursuing a newer skill, always having something to work on, that becomes more rare as we get older, because people don't want to learn anything new, right? We're just like, I get into being a creature of habit, so it's my routine. And I train a lot of older people, so I see it all the time. They're like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. And the question always is, does it hurt? Is it uncomfortable? Or is it just hard? And we're like, oh, it doesn't hurt. It's just, I'm not good at it. And it's like, well, yeah, the first time you do it, you're not going to be good at it. But then the next time you do it, you're going to be a little bit better. And at this point, like when I work with someone for years, then they start to realize, oh yeah, that was really bad. I'm like, yeah, well, next one we go, like, yeah, I know. Right? And so, like, you're right. It's like, you do have to pursue growth, because like, that's one of the values still, is that you're not standing still. You're going backwards, which like going to extreme to say you're dying, or growing, right? But that's the truth of it. And so that's the reason. I think we did a lot of talking about the reason. Now, you guys want to go try the muscle?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go over here.
Do you do muscle receiving?
Occasionally.
Oh!
Occasionally. I'm not right now.
How are your muscles, Michael? You can start a lot.
I could probably do one once I warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get cold.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
back out.
Yeah.
You got-
so how do you get someone to feel the muscle up? You start on the low rings, right? So low rings is the first place, and then do you guys remember the order to teach people a movement? What's the first thing you start with?
Oh, the butt,
Feet
the
position.
setup, yeah.
The
Just
setup.
the start,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, foot position usually.
Which is usually grip and stance,
Yeah,
right?
grip and
And
stance.
so, go ahead and find one of these rings, and then, yeah. So go ahead and set it up so it's in line with your sternum.
Like make the rings up as high as your sternum?
Yeah, as high as your sternum. Like, bottom of the ring will be like the base of your sternum.
They're lazy. Just put that foot like this, right? Hold up.
So it's the bottom of your sternum.
I'm gonna grab something while you guys do that.
Oh, that's high.
What if you have kids, Kelsey? You're gonna feel the pain.
I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna have $10.
$10. That's a good move. Like a workout.
That's not here. That's not here.
If you work out, if you feel like you worked out, or like someone punched you all night, like,
My dog did freaking punch me in the eye the other day with her foot.
there you.
She want me to wake up. She went right on my eye. She's a bully.
Oh, play shower.
What's wrong, Steven?
Well, I got that one.
I think
Oh. There you go. Sorry. My motor skills aren't 100%.
I don't know. Maybe that's a little lower stuff.
Those late night feedings. I haven't done muscle in a while, though.
I've never been able to do it.
It's been a minute, as
Yeah.
I could say.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, but I definitely never practiced these.
Does this look right, Michael, for me?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Alright, most of the time it doesn't have to be like perfect, that's just a good approximation where to start. And then go ahead and turn around and face me so that the camera can see you instead of blocking the camera. So we're gonna go that side. There you go. Another reason we do gymnastics in general is body weights, right? So knowing where you are in relation to and the space against that thing. Good to know.
I really need that.
Social construct.
It's like a flat circle.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead, and the first thing is the grip, right? And so the way I learned, the way it's good to learn, is false grip first. So make your hands like you're going to karate chop right on your wrist bone, and then from there, leave your wrist bone on top, reach around, and grab the ring, and have your knuckles playing on the inside of the ring. Yeah, like this? Yeah, like that. If you're turning around. Like you. Cool. Okay, so that is your false grip, and this can hurt, much like the hook grip when you start off. But the way that it's soft hurting is you get conditioned to it, right? So go ahead and just sit down like you're squatting, and let your body just hang. Yep. Yeah. Does it hurt a lot? Okay. Cool. How's that?
I just showed these hands and drops. They're fun.
Cool. Okay, go ahead and pull to the top of your chest and pull those elbows together. Cool.
Oh.
And then go ahead and go back down. So go ahead and give me 5 ring pulls.
Where should our foot be? Feet be here? Like,
Probably forward a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like you're squatting and then going
Okay.
straight up. Yeah. You might actually have to go higher, huh? So you
Yeah,
can
it's
get
a little,
volume.
I feel like it's a little low.
Yeah.
Can't wait for people to see the recording of me dying in the background.
So when you guys pull, it's good to practice. So right now we're starting to build that motor control. So that when you're hanging from there, that you're going to do the same thing, right? So remember, every time we do a movement, it gets ingrained into our brains to do that movement that way. Whenever we pull to the top of our chest, try to pull your hands together and touch the middle of your shirt. Right? Cool. Go a little higher, Stephen. Can you come here too?
Yeah.
Come higher up to this. Okay, so your sternum ends right there.
Okay.
And this is your belly button. This should be at the top of your sternum.
Okay.
You good?
Like, yeah. I was like, I get the appeal.
Yeah.
Lily and Addie always
Oh.
peeing on us.
For sure. Alright, yeah. Very well taken. Addy especially. Cool. The next thing I want you guys to feel is why this very awkward grip someone gave you on Stevens there. And then always make sure those straps, once you have it set up, are all the way up because nothing hurts like digging your shoulder into one of those at the top of the grip.
That's okay. Almost through.
Huh?
Alright.
Yeah,
That's right.
He has the no sleep brain.
Yeah.
You
Like
were
I'm
doing,
trying to measure
you're
baby
doing
formula
awesome.
right now.
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
how many,
didn't get
how
a
many
milliliter
tablespoons
there.
is it?
This is a test. But that's good. So you know what, Steven, that's great because then when you have someone in your class who's learning this and they have had twins and they haven't slept, you can like be like, I totally understand.
I have a video to prove it.
I did it.
Yeah. Cool. So I want you guys to take that false grip again, and you know how to find now. And also make sure you're not like, how do I say this? You're not on the side of the ring, you're more towards the bottom. Right? Yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So go ahead and just turn the rings to your side like you're in the bottom of the dip. Doesn't that feel like a strong glute position?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be really hard to get out.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
here
but
wise.
yeah.
Now go back to the hanging. So that right there is why we do the false grip, is to be able to end up in that good dip position.
Quicker, easier to
Uh-huh.
transition.
Makes it way easier to transition, and so that's the purpose of the false grip there. And we don't just do it because it's hard not to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, first part of the muscle up, go ahead and hang all the way. And the first part is just going to be pulling your chest to the rings. So chest touching rings. Cool. And then Stephen, you're going to touch the middle of your chest. Yeah. Hands apart is going to make it way harder.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go back to the bottom. Back to the top. Cool. Once we're here, go ahead and stand up, relax. Relax. Okay, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next and what we're going to do. So what we're going to do next is from here, we are going to drive our elbows back and go to that bottom of the grip. So that's what we're going to do next. And I'm going to have you guys go here, hold, and then have you guys go back here, and go back here, hold. So I'll tell you when to go, but the big thing is with this, keep those hands together here, and then when you have to move them out, because we're going to go to the bottom of the dip, try to keep them touching your body, and try to keep the elbows close. What we don't want to do is we don't want to go like this, because this isn't very strong. This is. Alright, so go ahead and hang all the way. And then pull your chest to the top of the rings, and then drive those elbows back, bottom of the dip. Good, back to top of the chest, and back down. So when you go back to Stephen, also touch your body. Don't let the rings not touch, go in front.
Okay.
So go ahead and pull your chest to the top of the rings. Or vice versa, whatever. Okay. Drive your elbows back and lift in the bottom of the dip. Go back to the top of the chest. Keep touching your body as you do that. Yep. Butt back, Stephen, butt back. And then go ahead and go down to the bottom. Cool. So chest, right? Chest. Bottom of the dip. back to chest, bottom of the dip, back to chest. Good. At this point, you guys are warm, right? Go and come out of that. Yeah, cool. So, of course, once we get to the bottom of the dip, that's when we're gonna go up, right? And what we could do your feet reach the ground, like okay from there? Is that,
When I was like this?
like can you jump up from the bottom of it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's try that. Steven, watch your head. I think
Yeah.
it might be,
Don't decapitate myself here.
yeah. We'll see. Maybe you don't go up all the way. Let's try that. So let's go hang. You wanna try real quick? You wanna try seeing what it looks like?
I mean, I can go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, just keep
If I get in front of it.
Just
Okay.
don't directly.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hang. And chest to the top of the rings, or rings to the top of your chest. And bottom of the dip. And jump up to the top. Cool. Go back to the bottom of the dip. Bottom of the dip. So
Oh,
a little.
shoot.
Yep, that's okay. Now chest to the rings to the top of your chest. And hang all the way. Cool. And then go ahead and go top of chest. Bottom of the dip. Jump up all the way. And bottom of the dip. And yeah. Very nice. So the one thing, Steven, for you is when you come out of the top of the dip, going back into going back and you put like, because you're still figuring out the coordination. One thing you can do as a drill for someone in class is you could have them practice with this. Like one of my favorite ways to practice. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to set this up right now. It's my brain kind of hurts thinking about it.
Like, are you looking the rings through that?
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were doing. I was like,
Thanks. Jason.
you're on go.
Pass on my log.
I was like, how?
Between the three of us, we have a couple of brain cells.
Yeah. I think somewhere in there.
One of us could plug in a light bulb.
I mean, this is a little long. Okay. Alright. I'm sure it's a very short. But like Steven, you could probably sit down because you're tall. But like, just go back there. Full. Yeah, that's gonna hurt more, but you could practice this.
Oh.
So that's the way to
Yeah,
practice.
Without having to get off the ground, which is helpful. Cool.
Because he needs that motor skill,
Yeah.
because he gets down the way.
Yeah.
Right, so you're tall, so it's harder.
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah. Honestly, one of the kids sit on the floor.
Huh?
Muscle up progressions.
Yeah.
I have a question too. When you're
Sure. What's your question?
already like my neck is feeling a little strained.
Okay.
Which I assume might happen to some people. How do you get? Would you just suggest them doing more? It's the dip. It's the bottom of the dip, and you know it's like something like that.
So
Stretching it.
pull the shoulders down. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the shoulder, so like
I think that sounds good. At least.
in most things, right, the scapula needs to be stable. Now we're pushing overhead, we're
Yeah.
pulling. And that is a problem with the dip, is like the shoulders will
Yeah,
pop
if you
up.
want to go like that, it's good.
Yeah, but it could also be how we're holding positions and extending back in the neck as well. And sometimes when we pull, we do pull with our neck, and that also adds to it. So
Yeah.
it could be a lot of those things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In this first round, one thing I was thinking about this morning is I was thinking about doing a reverse burpee or like a candlestick.
Yeah.
And the first time I did one, or even still when I do one, trying to stand up and not really knowing where my body is in tendencies and having that body awareness. So when we're learning the different positions there, you're probably not going to get our neck and all doing it good, right?
I didn't think about it until I heard, or until I felt it. I was like, oh
How I
yeah.
would troubleshoot is I would watch you. Alright, let's go ahead and do one again real quick. And then,
It's that. It's when I go like this, and I'm going like that. It's scrunching it.
can you go forward a little less? So go up to the top of your chest. Bottom of the dip. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. I think it was a little too far forward. Because you were like there and you took yourself you have an injury.
Perfect.
See if you can feel it.
Maybe the rings are just up a little high for me right now.
They are.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I was like, I feel like I'm just.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I also do that a lot with my body, however I position it. Like, I think about rock climbing. I'm always doing stuff where I'm like, oh, about to strain my neck.
Well, there's not. There's yeah. I mean, again, there's different reasons that you should do that.
Yeah.
Like, one thing is like, well, again, it's not a bad thing because like you throwing yourself forward, aiming your neck forward makes sense because you're trying to sit up and our body follows where our eyes go. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't want to hurt.
Right.
So troubleshoot, so that's
Right.
Well, I wanted to move into seated being most of up next,
Okay.
but I think we'll save that for next week.
Okay.
Close to the same. But the first part is if you're trying to do some of this and then nowhere close, it's learning the transitions, right? And the positions and what it feels like. And make your own pause there, not rushing through it because when you rush through it, you don't really get a feel for what it should feel like, right? And you want to feel this feeling of your lats pulling, and it's like really intense, and going to the bottom of the dip, you're feeling very strong, false grip, and then jumping up to the top of the dip, and then going back down in reverse, and realizing, oh crap, I gotta keep everything close, and how much work that takes, right? You want to feel all those things, and even if you're not gonna get a muscle up, or you don't care to get a muscle up, that's a hell of a good shoulder workout.
Yeah. Just doing that, yeah, just doing the drills for sure.
You get warm.
And it's gonna help your pull-ups, which
Yeah.
most people want to do pull-ups.
For sure, that will help you pull ups.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's funny because like one of the things is like a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't, it's not good for my shoulders, but that rotation, that control is really good for your shoulders done properly.
That makes sense.
We do it in 2 weeks, maybe. I won't be here next week.
All right.
Do what?
2 weeks
Oh,
muscle.
I gotta go visit in-laws or
Sure.
show my
Yeah.
kids or something.
We could do
Oh my
that
gosh.
next week.
To participate in family activities.
Yeah, in-laws want to see my twins. Very rude.
So annoying that would be a part of their life.
Make me drive to it.
Maybe next week we'll talk about intensity domains and I'll come back to muscle up and do this. I go back and forth with the talking one, moving. All right, thank you guys.